The boy is already standing between Daniel Calloway and the dog before his car door is fully open. "Please don't sell my dog, sir." Daniel stops with one foot still on the pavement. He hasn't said a word yet. The boy is 9, maybe 10, tight curly hair, arms crossed hard over his chest, chin lifted, the specific rigid posture of a child bracing for an argument he's already decided to win. A golden retriever mix sits at his feet, leash slack, watching Daniel with the same steady attention the boy is giving him. "I haven't said anything," Daniel says. "You will." The boy doesn't move an inch. "Everybody who calls does." Daniel looks past him toward the clinic entrance, the smell of antiseptic drifting out through a prop door, a bell over the frame that hasn't rung in a few minutes. "Who's selling him?" "My dad." The boy's jaw tightens. "He's inside, on the phone with the vet's office right now. Thinks I'm getting a soda." "And you don't want him to." The boy doesn't answer that directly. He crouches instead, one hand flat against the dog's head, steadying something that might otherwise shake apart. His name's Scout. A pause. "He keeps my dad from having the bad nights." Daniel's chest goes tight. What kind of bad nights? He knows before they happen. The boy's voice drops, careful, like he's protecting information rather than sharing it. Puts his head right here. He touches his own chest. "And my dad just breathes again, like normal." Daniel doesn't ask like normal compared to what. He doesn't have to. He has spent 8 years inside that exact silence, the one where you don't finish the sentence because finishing it makes it real again. "Where did the dog come from?" he says instead. "Some charity." The boy shrugs, practiced, automatic, a fact repeated so many times it's worn smooth. "He came with papers. My dad keeps the folder in his bag, always, like it matters more than the vet stuff inside it." "Can I see it?" The boy hesitates, the first real hesitation since he planted himself on this pavement, glancing once at the clinic door, calculating. Then he unzips a backpack by the leash, pulls out a slim folder held shut with a rubber band wound twice around it, and hands it over like he expects it back in exactly the condition he gave it. Daniel opens it. Training records, vaccination history. A placement date 3 years old. And on the inside cover, laminated under plastic gone faintly yellow, a photograph. His hand stops moving. A young man in uniform, late 20s. A half smile that doesn't reach his eyes. The specific incomplete smile of someone told to look like things were fine on a day they weren't. Beneath it, one printed line, in memory of the ones we didn't reach in time. "Who's that?" the boy asks. "Nobody ever told us. It just came with the folder." Daniel stares at the photograph, and for the first time in 8 years, his brother's face looks back at him from somewhere no one was ever supposed to find it. Daniel Calloway just found his dead brother's face laminated inside a stranger's veterinary paperwork, 3 feet from a dog that keeps a father breathing, the same way nothing kept Thomas breathing. Somewhere inside that building, a man who doesn't know his son is standing guard outside, is 30 seconds. James sees the folder in Daniel's hand and freezes. His face drains of color. His hand moves toward it on instinct, halfway, then stops. Eli steps between them without being told to. "That's my brother." Daniel holds the photograph up. "How does your dog's file have a photo of my brother in it?" James doesn't answer. "James?" "It's nothing." James looks away. "Some memorial thing. Came with the paperwork." "You're lying." James's jaw tightens. He looks at Eli, then at the floor. "I don't know who he is," he says finally. "I never asked. You don't ask questions about a gift that's keeping you alive." "Keeping you alive from what?" James sits down on the clinic bench. He doesn't answer right away. "Without Scout," he says, "I'm afraid of what happens next time the nightmares come." Silence. Eli moves closer to his father, puts a hand on his arm. "There's a subsidy," James says. "Vet care, came with the dog, free for 3 years. Came with it," Daniel repeats. Past tense. "Cut 18 months ago." Daniel's stomach drops. "They sent a letter," James says. 1 page, program restructuring. Didn't say what that meant until the bills started coming due. "How much?" James doesn't answer that either, not right away. "Enough that I split my own prescriptions in half," he says. Enough that selling him buys me 6 months I don't otherwise have. Eli's hand tightens on his father's arm. Daniel takes out his phone. I can fix this today, he says. I don't want your money. It's not charity. It's a debt I didn't know I owed. James looks at him for a long moment. Doesn't answer that either. Daniel dials. Grant Whitfield picks up on the second ring. Daniel, everything all right? The veterinary subsidy for the service dog placements. When did we cut it? A pause. Too long. There were budget considerations ahead of the gala. How many families? Another pause. I'd have to check the exact number. You know the number, Grant. Silence on the line. Daniel, before you come here, Grant says, there's something you need to know. The line goes dead. Daniel stares at the phone. He looks at James, at Eli, at his brother's photograph still in his hand. Something else is wrong, something bigger than a subsidy. Lock the file room, Daniel says, already moving toward his car. Nobody leaves. Nobody destroys a single document. I'm on my way. Grant Whitfield just hung up mid-sentence, right after telling Daniel there's something he needs to know before he arrives. James has been rationing his own medication to keep a dog alive that a subsidy cut left him unable to afford. And somewhere inside the Callaway Foundation, a file room full of complaint letters marked resolved might not survive the next hour if Daniel doesn't get there first. Locked. Grant is standing outside it. What didn't you tell me? Grant doesn't answer right away. Grant, 2 families, Grant says. After the cuts, they couldn't afford the dog's care, surrendered them back to the training center. And Grant looks at the floor. Both veterans died within 4 months of losing the dogs. Daniel goes still. I buried the letters, Grant says. I told myself it wasn't connected. I told myself a lot of things. Daniel doesn't speak. He can't. The gala's in 2 days, Grant says. I was going to present the savings as a win. Open the file room. Grant unlocks it. Inside, boxes of letters, hundreds, all marked resolved. Daniel picks one at random, reads 3 lines, puts it down, picks up another. Every letter says some version of the same thing. Please don't take this away from us. None of them were read past the first page. How many families are still in the program? Daniel asks. 211. All of them get the subsidy back, today, retroactive to the cut date. I don't care what it costs. Daniel calls his events director next. The gala isn't a fundraiser anymore, he says. It's an apology. 2 days later, the ballroom is full. Donors in dark suits, pressed near the stage. Grant is not in the room. His resignation was filed that morning, effective immediately. No severance, no statement. Daniel walks to the podium alone. He doesn't talk about growth numbers. He holds up a photograph, his brother, laminated, corners softened with age, and tells the room exactly who Thomas Callaway was, exactly how he died, and exactly how the foundation built in his name spent 18 months quietly failing the people it promised to protect. He reads 2 names out loud, the veterans who died after losing their dogs. The room goes silent in a way gullus never go silent. The subsidy is restored, Daniel says, fully, permanently, and starting tonight, every family in this program gets a direct line to me, not to a director, me. James is in the 3rd row, Eli beside him, one hand resting on Scout's head. Daniel steps down from the stage and walks straight to them, past donors, past photographers, past everyone he came here to impress. Keep the dog, he says. Keep everything. I'll cover it as long as it needs covering. James doesn't say thank you. He doesn't need to. His hand finds Eli's shoulder and stays there. 3 weeks later, the foundation opens a new family support office. No corporate slide decks. No cost efficiency targets. Just caseworkers with direct numbers and a promise that no letter goes unread again. On the wall by the entrance, the photograph. Thomas Callaway, laminated, same half smile. The line beneath it has been changed, in memory of the ones we reached in time. Eli visits sometimes with his father when James comes in for Scout's checkups. Free now, permanent now. He stops at the photo every time. He still doesn't know the man's full story. He knows his dad calls Daniel by his first name now. He knows Scout still sleeps at the foot of his father's bed. And the bad nights come less often than they used to. That's enough for a 9-year-old to understand. It took Daniel 8 years to understand it too.